The prior video looked at the external root surface on Mike's case number 638. Now we're going to look at the sagittally split sections of the palatal root. And when you look at it, you can see there was some kind of a defect on the lateral root surface. It shows up in Mike's cone beam. And then when you actually look at the specimen, there's something there. So I don't know what kind of resorptive defect that was, but when I sectioned the root sagittally, it was filled with calcium hydroxide. So according to our method, I took a camel hair's brush and I tried to brush away a lot of the calcium hydroxide. That's what the sputter-coated section looked like. And some of the calcium hydroxide was able to be removed and others wasn't. So it really complicates the interpretation of the section. When you go into the MIE site and the lingual root is switched into two sections, the right and left half. And so I'm going to avoid this kind of area because that can happen from the section. So let's take a look at the wall where there's no debris and where some of the calcium hydroxide has been brushed away. And you get kind of a sense of what the wall looks like, but the picture is actually very confusing. There's what looks like remaining predentin still present. And when you go into the higher stitched images, I hope this stitched method is useful to you as you look at this. You can see a lot of debris and a probable smear layer there, or a predentin layer down to the level of the mineralization front. And when you go into this, you don't really know whether all of that debris on the top is from the demineralization of the predentin, or whether it's calcium hydroxide, or whether it's organisms. It's very, very difficult to tell. When you go into the much higher magnification, you can see there's been some demineralization of the predentin, and then you see what I interpret is calcium hydroxide crystals, but there's probably also bacteria there, but it's very, very difficult to tell. So the uncertainty level here is high. If you go into some of these areas, especially up near the top, you can see there's been quite a bit of demineralization of the predentin. And there's what I'm interpreting as an organism. But the other debris there's just uncertainty. I can't really tell whether this is calcium hydroxide or part of the demineralization of the predentin, which leaves debris like that as well. There you see kind of a barrel shape that we talked about in the earlier video that's reminiscent of streptococci. If you go into another area on the root, again, it's helpful to look through these and see what you can detect. And I'm not going to go through a lot of these unless there's further questions, because if people aren't looking at these, this is not really worth my time doing. So here you can see considerable demineralization of the predentin with calcium hydroxide crystals over the top. So take some time, look at these images, and tell me what you think.